Cheers! Welcome to Movie Bitches, episode 77. Whoa. So tonight we're reviewing The Revenant. I loved this movie. I did not.
Shocker.
The funny thing is that I don't necessarily dislike the wilderness genre film.
Okay.
And I kind of actually appreciate them in some, there's something nostalgic and whatever about them. Mm-hmm. But in my opinion, wilderness genre, and I don't think that's really a thing, but whatever, I'm calling it one.
I think it is. Survival.
Sure. Wilderness frontier genre and pretentious artistic. Well, right. I definitely thought I wanted Michael Fassbender to be in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't know as who, actually.
More so than usual, but yeah. If it was,
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, okay, so if he was the Leo character, mm-hmm. and Tom Hardy was still the bad guy, and they were, would have been into that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was just so pretentious. It was just
I didn't hate this movie.
I
didn't particularly like it.
Yeah.
I can't say that I hated it.
No, I can't say that I hated it because it was skillfully crafted.
Yes.
And it was painstakingly crafted.
Yes. I mean,
But so was Showgirls.
That's true.
I mean...
I certainly had more fun watching Showgirls.
Exactly.
Yeah, this was a bummer.
And it was just so slow.
There was just a lot of scenes of Leonardo DiCaprio breathing.
Yep. A lot of breathing.
Being cold. Surviving. It was like Leonardo DiCaprio does the Blair Witch Project.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was like Leonardo DiCaprio, interpretive dances his career.
What?
Well, just
no, it was
where he survives without ever getting the reward of he wants that Oscar. He's so bad.
What else can I do? Okay, I'll break my vegetarian fast. Okay, I'll do cocaine in Wolf of Wall Street. Okay, I'll be naked. Okay, whatever you want, just give me the Oscar. I want it. It seems like maybe he'll get it this time. So, Tom Hardy's hair. And at first I thought it was the single worst comb over bald spot I'd ever seen. And I was like, oh, that's why he's so mad. Then, because he plays a real asshole.
Yeah.
Then you find out, oh no, he was scalped.
Or be starting to become scalped.
Well, you only take a piece of it. You don't scalp their whole head.
But I mean, the skin was still there.
They scalp. No, I think it just grew back.
Oh.
Without the hair.
Oh, you think?
I think so. Anyway, he's got a big bald patch.
Yeah.
And he's been scalped. And he looked like Helena Bonham Carter in the end of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein when she's just got a few hairs. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
And she's like, ah. And he was like, ah. Anyway, it was a mess. It gave his character more depth. Although I wanted more.
I thought he actually was...
He was great at acting.
I thought so.
I just wanted to know why he was such an asshole.
No one knows.
Seemingly it was just I'm an asshole because.
Well, and I felt like they went a little too far with his assholery.
He might as well have kicked a dog. It was pretty rough.
Tom Hardy's accent was indecipherable.
I mean, as usual. I feel like he's the Marlon Brando of our time. I mean, it's got that thing that Marlon Brando had where you're like, I really like you. I have about 80% chance of understanding what you're saying.
Yep.
But you're great. So, the filming in this movie is almost all movement.
Yeah.
I could kind of get behind it in Birdman. It was a novelty.
Right.
It was a thing.
Right.
It was a movie about a play.
Right.
So, it made sense, right? And I was like, okay, this is cool. In this, I was like, no. I don't want to see any more oneers. It felt like a video game. It felt like it was a first person and you were the other character that was,
Yeah.
like, playing along with Leonardo DiCaprio, who was surviving, and they would, like, circle around him and do, like, whoa, you know,
Yeah.
it was very, like, first person.
Yes.
But in an annoying way.
I think that a lot of that could be said about the filmmaking in general is, like, what exactly does this add?
Mm-hmm.
And is that beneficial for telling this specific story?
Well, he seems, I think I like Alejandro Inarritu. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it.
Yeah, too, I think, but yeah.
It feels like his movies are gimmicky at this point. It's like, Birdman, it's all in one take.
Yeah, it's all
The
one thing,
Revenant.
and it's drums.
It's drums. The Revenant. It's all natural lighting and
Yeah.
real locations. And you're like, okay, like, I'm excited that you're making choices and taking risks. But,
Right.
like, I want more content.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do that, like, give me really juicy characters and, like, a story that I want to see. And this was, like, I don't know, kind of predictable.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, well, I mean, maybe it's just.
I mean, to be fair, you had watched the...
Yeah, so there's a 1970 movie with Richard Harris called, like, The Man in the Wilderness or The Man and the Wilderness.
Mm.
That's based on the same story. It's different. There's no son that's killed. There's no
like, revenge
There's
plot.
less revenge. It's more like, well, we had to keep going.
So it's just more of survival.
It's more of like
and I
him
kind
surviving.
of wouldn't have minded. Like, I don't know, there was something
Yeah.
that was weird about this movie to me where it, like...
I felt like they had to, puff it up with, like, well, we need some revenge. You know,
Yeah.
something like that. Like, it got to a point where you were like, no. He
Yeah.
would be dead.
Dead.
And in the old one, basically what happens is he gets attacked by the bear, and he's sort of surviving the general elements, but it's less like, and then he falls off a cliff, and then it's like it's less future trauma, you know what I mean? It's less like good.
Like, seriously, though.
He legit falls off a cliff, and he's like, okay.
On a horse into a tree.
He's in a lake, like in the old one. I mean, I don't want to
he, like,
compare
goes
them.
down waterfalls. Like, I mean,
I don't want to compare them too much because, like, they're different, but in the older one, like, it's summer, like, and it turns into winter, so, like, he's healing when it's warm.
Gotcha.
I don't know what really happened, but the older one felt more...
My guess is that one is...
simplistic and just, like, this is just a bare bones, like, he survived a bear attack.
Right.
And he becomes this sort of tall-tale mythical creature that's like, oh my god, did you hear about Hugh Glass? He survived.
Right.
And less like, I will avenge my son. So you've watched this 2-hour, 30-minute movie.
Yep.
And...
Like, I was on the verge of, like, starting to slit my wrist to, like, match his scars. It was that bad.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't.
But he's, stuff happens, blah-de-blah. Oh, he survives. Spoilers, he finds Tom Hardy. And then he's, like, looking off into the snow and, like, breathing. And then he just looks dead on into the camera. As if to judge you and say, you see what I meant by this whole movie? And I was like, no. What? Like, didn't that seem like what it was? Like, he was like, and there you go. That's how you should feel. Feel judged. And I was like...
Yeah, I was like, well, what's your deal?
What do you want me to do about it? I didn't kill your son.
What's your damage, Heather?
Fitzgerald killed your son, not me.
Exactly. If you want to do something different...
Sure.
I don't care if you film in natural light or not, but try giving me something like a different story. You like... I don't know, have Leonardo DiCaprio just get brutally murdered at the end, and you're like, fuck.
Like, whoa.
Welcome to the Wild Wild West, man. Like, I don't know.
Wild Wild West.
Good thing there's not a robot spider about to kill you.
I mean, that would have been real scary.
That would have been crazy.
Like, whoa. It seems like it was halfway between trying to be a Terrence Malick movie, where it's very just, like, visually thought-provoking, and you're like, I don't really know what's happening, but, like, whoa. And then just being, like, a straight survival, movie. And it didn't quite go either way. Mm-hmm. And even though I found most of, like, the fever dream stuff annoying, had that been done more throughout and in a more interesting way, and had that been the theme, and had the whole movie been shorter, it might have been just more engaging.
I think, too, if the fever dreams had provided us that, like, inner drive, that inner monologue, rather than just repeating themselves. It was the same scene over and over again.
2.5 hours.
Over 2.5 hours.
For what?
I couldn't tell you.
Long shots of
the wilderness.
Leonardo DiCaprio's frozen boogery beard. I mean, it was just gross. There was so many times when I was like, ew. Fuck frontier life.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I mean, you know what's funny is that I guess I just kept thinking about Slow West. And that was what originally made me want Michael Fassbender.
Oh, yeah. But that's much more stylized.
Yes,
and less,
totally.
Like, historically accurate or whatever.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm like, I guess it was good because it was so historically accurate. Like, how fucked it would be, right?
Right.
But I was remembering, like, F Troop and being like, oh, look at they're having fun. And there's, like, a log cabin. And I was like, oh, it's nice. And it was like, oh, fuck. Yeah. Like, no thanks.
Grim. No thanks. It's amazing to me, like, how big is this wilderness that it's so, like, vast, and yet they keep running into each other?
You gotta follow those tracks.
I
don't know. They seemingly, I mean, I think the story is that he went over 200 miles to, like, survive or whatever.
Wow, yeah.
So, like, fuck.
Yeah.
That's, like...
It's a lot.
Half of California.
No.
More than half.
Less.
Less than half of California. I mean, come on. It's a lot of miles.